Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's session on EBSCO Discovery Service Searching Overview. My name is Ryan Salas, and I'm a training specialist for Southeast Asia at EBSCO. So, brief information about me: I train EBSCO customers across Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Indonesia. And prior to joining EBSCO in 2022, I was a technical services head librarian in academic library in the Philippines. So before we dive in, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items to ensure that everything runs smoothly. First, please note that this webinar is currently being recorded and this will be made available on demand. If you have any questions or concerns during my presentation, please use the chat box or the Q&A. And after this session, I'll send out a link to the recording along with any materials or resources shared today. Now, these are the objectives. It is my hope that by the end of this session, you'll be able to describe and access the EBSCO Discovery Service platform, use the dashboard feature to save, document, and share research, find publications, including journals and ebooks using the publication finder. I'm sorry, there is a typographical error. We're not going to include the concept map, but we're going to locate relevant help and support materials. So we'll begin the session by exploring how the EBSCO Discovery Service works. So EDS is a discovery layer designed to provide seamless access to your library's electronic and print collection through a single user-friendly interface. So you can think of EDS as a unified search tool that allows you to search across multiple library resources at once, including your databases, catalogs, journals, magazines, and your institutional repositories. And to put this into perspective, you can think of EDS as the Google for libraries, but with a key difference, it prioritizes authoritative, credible, and scholarly content, ensuring users access reliable information only. So one thing that sets EDS apart from other platforms or our competitors is the system has a feature called relevance ranking. And this feature runs an algorithm in the background, and this algorithm impacts how results would appear on the first page of the EBSCO Discovery Service. And the main thing we use in relevance ranking is called field ranking. So the field ranking works by implementing the following priorities to the search result, and it will also have no bias toward the content from any provider. So the system will show results according to the following. First is match on subject headings from controlled vocabularies, followed by match on article titles, match on author keywords, match on keywords within abstract, and finally match on keywords within the full text. Now, the system also utilizes value ranking. So value ranking is a specific content attribute matching records that may contribute to relevance scoring. So this feature is some sort of a tiebreaker that uses the following criteria to return relevant results. First is publication date, where recently published content is weighted heavier than older content. Next is publication type or document type, where certain document types are weighted heavier than the others. For example, we have here review articles are deemed more valuable while book reviews are not. And finally, it's also going to consider the document length, where articles of a more substantial length will have heavier impact. So for my example, a 1/4 page article is considered less valuable than a 4-page research paper. Now, when using EBSCO Discovery Service, you may also notice that there is a limiter called at my library, or in other organization, they call it available in library collection. So this feature allows users to refine search results to include only materials with full text access. So it could be coming from your EBSCO host databases, your e-journals, your institutional repositories, or even resources available in your library's catalog. Again, please keep in mind that this is a configurable setting, meaning it can be enabled or disabled based on your library's preferences. So by using this filter, the users will be able to search for the following. First is all your subscribed full-text EBSCO host databases. So this includes results retrieved via smart linking. It will also include your library catalog, your institutional repository, any subscribed data partners from which you get access to full text. So you have Alexander Street Press, JSTOR, and so on. And it will also include your subscribed content via a local collection, which has a full text custom link set up in EBSCO admin. And finally, your subscribed content via full text finder, which has a full text custom link set up in EBSCO admin. So it can be electronic journal collections loaded from other knowledge bases such as SFX, Serial Solutions, and so on. Now, before we head over to the live demonstration, I'd also like to share with you some tips and tricks to elevate your searching experience. And we have here the Boolean operators. So first, we have the AND Boolean operator. And I'd also like to use Venn diagrams when discussing Boolean operators so that it's easier to understand. Essentially, the AND Boolean operator will narrow down the search results. So for my example, I'm using education and health. And if you're going to combine your keywords using the AND Boolean operator, the system will ensure that these two keywords will appear within the search results. We also have here the OR Boolean operator. So the OR Boolean operator is the exact opposite of the AND Boolean operator, and this will broaden the search results. So for my example, I'm using education or health. So if you're going to combine your keywords using the OR Boolean operator, the system will retrieve at least one of the keywords you've specified, or it could also include both search terms. And finally, we have the not Boolean operator, and this will come in handy if you want to remove ambiguity within the search results. So if you want to omit a term from your search results, you can utilize the not Boolean operator. Say, for example, we only want to search for education and not health. So you can use the not Boolean operator. So without further ado, let's now head over to the live demonstration, and then I'll show you how to navigate the EBSCO Discovery Service. So we're going to start by running a basic search. So as the name suggests, you can use the basic search to run basic searches. So for example, I'm looking for articles on the topic of artificial intelligence. So I'll just enter my keywords in the search bar, run my search, and I could also use limiters. So these are the limiters that I'm going to use. So I'm going to limit my results to full text resources, to articles published within the last 5 years, and I'm also going to limit the results to academic journals only. So here is EBSCO Discovery Service. Please note that I'm using my demo account, so the configuration might be a bit different from what you have in your institution. So this is the landing page. On the left-hand side, you'll find your dashboard, and this is where you can create projects. You can also access the items that you've saved, track your recent activity. You can also view your holds and checkouts. So if you're going to check out an ebook, the titles will appear in your holds and checkouts. Or if you've set up your, if you have folio, you can also access titles here that you've checked out. And if you have any fines to pay. Now, for the alerts, you can manage your journal and search alerts within the alerts tab. You also have your research tools. So the new search button acts like your homepage. So if you click on the new search button, it takes you back to the homepage. So this is the a button that you can click to go back to the landing page, and it will also clear out all the filters that you've applied in your previous search. Here is your publication finder. So if you want to search for a journal, or if you want to search for an ebook, reports, newspapers, you can go ahead and access your publication finder. Then you also have your supplemental sources. We're going to circle back to this later. And the help button will take you to our help website. And this is called EBSCO Connect. So you'll find how-to information. So if you want to learn how to run basic search, advanced search, you can go to this page or this article. So here is the search bar. So we're currently landing on the basic search. You have your quick filters. So you can limit the results to peer-reviewed. And as mentioned earlier, here is your available in library collection. You can also limit the results to full text resources prior to running your search. And then you have your all-time or your date filter. I also want to mention that you have your My EBSCO button, and this is your personal account. So if you want to log into your personal account, you can click on My EBSCO and click on Sign In. And if you haven't created your My EBSCO account, you can create an account for free. So one of the advantages of logging into your My EBSCO account is you'll be able to access the items that you save in your previous session. And the system will also permanently save the items in your dashboard. So if you're not going to log into your My EBSCO, the system will temporarily save the items in your dashboard. So when you log out or when you turn off your computer, the system will automatically remove all the items you save in your dashboard. So let's now enter our keywords. Again, I'm going to search for artificial intelligence. If your institution has enabled the autocomplete feature, the system will recommend terms. You have your popular searches, and it takes you to the actual search results. For the publications, it's going to take you to the publication finder. So this is it's going to take you to the search results, but it's just going to show you the publication. So you have here your publication placard. So I stand corrected. Okay, let's click on new search, and then I'll enter artificial intelligence. And here are the results. And as you can see, we have massive results. So it could take us days or even months to review the items here. We have over 9 million plus results. So to help us manage the results, we're going to limit the results here to resources that we need. So we're going to use the available filters at the top. So I'm going to limit the results to peer-reviewed resources. I know it's not included, but I just want to access peer-reviewed resources. So if you're going to go back to the search example earlier, I've added peer-reviewed resources. So we can also select full text. And then you can also use the old time limiter and limit the results to resources published within the last 5 years. And you've also got your source type. So you can limit the results to academic journals and click on apply. Now, if you want to access all filters, you can click on the all filters button. So the filter panel will slide in on the right hand side. So these are all the available filters that you can use. Again, you can use the available in library collection. You can also limit the results to catalog only if you have uploaded your catalog record. Then you can also use your content provider filter. So these are all the databases that you've enabled in your EBSCO admin. Now, if you scroll down, you also have your publication. These are the subjects. So if you want to drill down to a specific subject, you can use your subject filter. Then you've got your language here. So we have here several languages. You can use the search bar to search within the filter. Then you can also change the sorting option. Next, you can also filter by geography or by country. Then you've got your publisher. Now, if you scroll back up, these are the filters that I've selected. So I have my active filters here. So I'm going to close the filter panel now, and there you go. So we've been able to narrow down the results to 1.5 million plus results. And this is actually a significant decrease from what we had earlier. And of course, you can still add filters if you want to. So you can drill down to uh, machine learning. So let's click on apply. And of course, it will further decrease the results. From here, you can bulk export the results by downloading, saving, sharing, or grabbing the citation. So after retrieving the results, you'll see a checkbox beside the result list, and you've also got checkboxes beside the title, and it will allow you to handpick the items. Okay, so if you want to select multiple items, just tick the checkbox at the top, click the drop down, and if your institution or your organization has enabled the option to bulk export up to 25,000 records, you can select this option. And once you have selected your preferred option, you can now select one from the available tools to manage the results. So I'm going to select the first 10 items within the search results. And from here, I can choose to download the metadata. So I have the formats here. So I can download this in PDF, in MS Word, in CSV, and so on. There is also an option to bulk save these items. So if I want to access it in my next session, I can go ahead and select the bookmark icon. There is also an option to add this to your project. So your project is like your custom folders. This is actually the reimagined version of the custom folder. And this will allow you to manage and organize the items within your dashboard. So as you can see, I have created several projects. So if you want to create a new project, just click on new project, give this project a name. You can also add a due date. However, this is optional, as well as the description. Next, you can also share this. So you can upload this to your Google Drive or OneDrive, or you can also choose to email this. So you can email this to yourself or to someone else. And finally, you can grab the citation of these items. So EBSCO supports 9 different citation styles. You can click on the drop down and choose from the available options. So by default, APA 7th edition is selected. There is also an option to export the citation. Just select the export tab, and there is an option to export this to Noodle Tools. Now, before we review the results, I'd also like to mention that there are some settings here that you can configure. So you can configure the number of items shown on the first page. So you've got several options here ranging from 10, 20, 30, and 50. So this is the maximum. You can also change the sorting option. So you have here relevance, date newest, and date oldest. Now, if you click on the three dots, so it will allow you to save your search. So if you want to rerun this search in your next session, you can save this. So you just have to fill out this form. The only mandatory field here is the search name, and you don't have to configure this. It's not mandatory. By default, it's going to use your keywords. And once you're done, just click on save. So that's how you can save your search. Next, you can also create an alert. So if you've come up with great search results and wanted to stay updated on the search results, you can set up a search alert. So by setting up an alert, you'll receive notifications from EBSCO whenever there is a change in the search result. To create a search alert, you must first sign in to your My EBSCO account. So please make sure that you have already logged in prior to creating an alert. Otherwise, the system will prompt you to log in. So here is the form. Again, no mandatory fields aside from the alert name. So I can go ahead and click on Create Alert. Now, once you have created your alert, so let's close this, you can go to your alerts tab, and this is where you can manage the alerts that you've created. I'll circle back to this later, and I'll show you how to manage the alerts that you have set up. Okay, so let's now scroll down. You have your placard. So if you have set up placards in your EBSCO Experience Manager, it will appear within the search results, and it will be shown at the top of the results. Now, if we scroll down, we've got bibliographic information. So here is a journal. So you can also see the title, and you've got the authors, and this one is coming from Medline Complete. Then you can also review the abstract. And if you want to access the full text, you can click on the Access Options drop-down. So if an article is available in two formats, aside from PDF, you'll be able to see a drop-down here, and you can choose from the available options. There is also a more like this button. So this button generates related articles. So whether you're on the search results or on the detailed record, you'll be able to see the recommendations. So the recommendations here are based on the title that we're viewing. So it's related to the one that we're viewing. And we've got 5 recommendations. Now, before we go to the bibliographic information or the detailed record, we've also got here some features. So first, we've got here the bookmark button. So if you want to save this article, just click on the bookmark icon. If you click on the 3 dots, it will show you all the available tools and features. So if you want to grab the citation of this article, just click on the Cite button. And again, as mentioned earlier, there are 9 different citation styles to choose from. So just click on the drop down and click on Copy to Clipboard. You can also export the citation. You can export this in RIS to Noodle Tools and so on. So that's your site. You can also add this to your project. So you can add individual items to your projects. There is also an option to share this. So you can share this and upload this to your Google Drive, OneDrive, Google Classroom, or you can also grab the persistent link. So this is the permanent link. So You can copy this and then you can share this with someone else. Next is the email option. So if you want to email this to yourself or to someone else, you can enter your email address here or the email address of the recipient. And if the full text is available, it will be included as an attachment. And finally, you can download the full text. So if the full text is available, you'll see the available formats here. If this article is not available in HTML version, you'll see that it's grayed out. Next, you can also download the metadata. So if you want to download just the metadata, just choose from the formats here. You can download this in PDF and MS Word and so on. Let's now click the hyperlink and it's going to take us to the bibliographic information. So we've got the details here. So if we scroll down, we've got things like the title, you have the author, source, your publication type, language, and so on. And as mentioned, you can access the more like this feature. And there is also a cited by. Let me just access a different title. So quickly show you the cited by. So you can access the cited by from the search results or from the bibliographic information. So when you click the cited by, you'll be able to browse and view a list of other articles that have cited this article. So this list includes articles that are available to read through your EBSCO subscriptions, as well as those outside of your library. Okay, so that is the cited by. You've also got the references. I'll go back to this later. And as mentioned, you've got your tools and features. So you can save, cite, add this to your project, share this, or download the full text if it's available. Let's now access the full text. So to access the full text, you can click on the access options. Again, if an article is available in online full text, you've got your option here. So let's access this in PDF. So click on this. So it takes us to the full text version. So here is the article. Again, this is in PDF. There is an option to enable the text to speech. So just click on the headset icon at the top and you can enable the text to speech feature.
Prediction of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder based on explainable artificial intelligence. Ignacy Navarro Soria, Juan Ram Enrico Juan B.
And that's how you can enable the text to speech. Okay, so that's how we can run a basic search. The next thing that we're going to cover is the advanced search. So if you've got any questions, please let me know. Again, you can enter them in the chat box. All right, so while waiting for the questions, I'd like to quickly show you how to run an advanced search. So one key advantage of advanced search is it allows for more precise and targeted searches. So this feature enables you to combine multiple search terms, unlike the basic search. So this is useful for conducting complex research topics. So for example, if you're working with a research question like, does artificial intelligence encourage cheating in education? You can utilize the advanced search to combine multiple keywords. So first, I'll go back to the platform. I'll click on the new search. So if you're following along, these are the concepts that we're going to use. So we're going to use artificial intelligence, cheating, and education. And since we're landing on the basic search, what I'll do is I'm going to click on the advanced search button. So the advanced search button is located just above the magnifying glass icon. So here is the advanced search, and as mentioned earlier, it allows you to combine multiple search terms. And if you're searching for more than 3 concepts, you can add row, and you can add up to 12 rows. And of course, you can also delete the row and use the 3 rows. So by default, you have 3 rows. Now, apart from the option to or the ability to combine multiple keywords, you can also use field codes. So using a field code will increase the precision of your search. So this is done by instructing the system to search within a specific section of a record. So for example, you're searching for the author or the title, you can click on the drop down and select your field code. So again, the system will search within a specific section of a record. So you can also combine your keywords using Boolean operators. So you've got your and, or, and not. Now I'm going to enter my keywords. My first keyword or keywords are artificial intelligence. And I'm going to use the and Boolean operator to combine my keywords. Next, I'll enter cheating. Again, you have your autocomplete feature. Then my last keyword or concept is education. Once you've entered your keywords, again, you can use your field codes or you can also combine them using any Boolean operators. You can also scroll down and use your filters. So prior to running your search, you can use any filters. You can limit this to publish date. Then you've also got your full text or available in library collection. So I'm not going to use any filters. I'll click on search. And here are the results. Now, if we take a closer look at the results, you'll notice that the results here are somehow a bit more manageable compared to the results from the basic search. The reason is we've combined our keywords using the and Boolean operator. So that's actually one of the advantages of using the advanced search feature. So again, you can click on the title, you can save the items here, bulk export, create an alert, and so on. So that's how we can use and search for resources using your EBSCO Discovery Service. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is the dashboard. So the dashboard is where you can find your projects, the items that you've saved, track your recent activity, also checkouts, and the alerts. So let's go to the projects first. I'll click on this. And these are the projects that I've created. So I have 28 projects. So let's say I save items to my lesson plans projects. So if I click on this, so it shows me all the records that I saved in my lesson plan. From here, I can export the metadata. Again, I can take the checkbox at the top to select multiple items, and I can choose to download the metadata. So I'll download this in PDF just to show you what it looks like. And here is the file. So we've got the table of contents, and then you have the bibliographic information. Now, aside from downloading the records, you can also add them to your project, export them, or delete them. So that's your projects. You can also save your searches in your projects. Next, we've got the Save tab. So the Save tab is where you'll find the items that you've bookmarked. And it has two tabs, one for records and one for searches. So for records, you can review the available records here. So I have saved 159 records. Then you've got your searches as well. So if you've saved your search, you'll be able to retrieve them in your Save tab. And as you can see, this one is bookmarked. Next, we've got the recent activity. So these are the searches that we've conducted within this session. So please note that this is session-based. So if you log out or if you turn off your desktop, you won't be able to, or the system will automatically remove the searches. So if you want to keep your search history, you can go ahead and bookmark them. So the system will migrate your recent activity to your Save tab. So we're going to skip holds and checkouts. Next is the alert. So if you've created a search alert or a journal alert, it will appear in your alerts tab. So you've got your search alert here. If you want to manage your search alert, just click on the three dots. You can edit your alert. Just click on edit alert and you can change the alert name. You can also extend the or renew the alert. Just tick this box. And once you're done, just click on save change. Now, if you want to delete your alert, just click on the three dots and click on delete. And that's how you can manage the alerts that you've created. Okay, we're done with the dashboard. We're done with the dashboard. We're going to now discuss the publication finder. So to access the publication finder, just click on the this button under the research tools. So this is the publication finder, and it will allow you to browse by publications alphabetically by database or by package, or you can also browse by subject. So there is also provision for search box to easily locate a known title. So let's try to search for Harvard Business Review. So you can also use the alphabetical list. I'm going to search for Harvard Business Review. So you've got the autocomplete feature, and I'm going to search for Harvard Business Review. So it's going to take us to the search results. So you've got your filters on the left-hand side, and here are the results. So you can access the this journal in one of the available links or through the available links here. So you've got Business Source Complete, Business Source Ultimate, and so on. So that's your search publications. Next, you can also browse by package or by database. So if there is a particular database that you want to look at and see what journals are available for that database or ebook, you can browse the alphabetical listing here. So for example, I'm interested in searching Business Source. I can go to letter B and then I can scroll down and here is Business Source Complete. So if I click on this, so it takes me to the search results and you've got your filters on the left-hand side. So that's your browse package. Next, you've got your browse subjects. So for example, I can go into education. So education has an arrow pointing downwards. So I can click on that and the arrow goes down, indicating that it has expanded to other sub-disciplines. So the big umbrella term is education, and these are the term or the subject terms that fit underneath education. So you've got history of education and other sub-disciplines as well. So that's the publication finder. So just a quick recap. I have already discussed the dashboard, the publication finder. So in the next session or section rather, we're going to explore how these AI tools can be integrated into your information searching and retrieval. So I'll walk you through what they are, how they work, and most importantly, how you can start utilizing them to create real value for your research. So first off, we've got AI insights. So AI insights reduce the time that you spend searching for relevant full text articles supporting your research. So this feature is accessible through a vast and continually expanding array of EBSCO full text databases and EBSCO Discovery Service. So EBSCO AI insights offer concise summaries, so presenting you with 2 to 5 salient points for each document. And this consistent format is applied across multiple databases. Now, the advantage of this, I'm actually going to go back to the platform. I'll show you what it looks like. So click on the new search first. You have probably noticed this earlier when I was doing the demo. So go to the recent activity. Again, it will just show me the searches that I've conducted within this session. So I can rerun my search. And here are the results. So please note that AI insights are not available to all records because we need to seek approval from the publisher first before we can generate the insights. And also, if the full text is not available, we won't be able to generate insights. Now let's scroll down and let's search for AI insights. So click on full text and then I'll also limit the results to Academic Search Ultimate. Okay, so here is AI insights. So if I click on this, the system will generate the insights for me. And as mentioned, it will show me 2 to 5 salient points. And compared to abstracts, insights are often more concise and easier to read because the information here is bulleted. Now, I also want to mention that the insights here are grounded on the full text to avoid hallucination. So if we're going to compare abstract versus the insights, so you'll notice that the insights here are easier to understand. So that's our AI insights. Next, we've got natural language search. So natural language search is a feature that lets you search using your everyday conversational language instead of using complex keywords or Boolean operators. So it uses natural language processing to understand the meaning behind your questions. And it will help you find accurate and relevant information easily. So essentially, a natural language search is like how you would search on Google. So you just have to enter your question in the search bar, run the search, and then the results will be retrieved. So it's especially helpful for researchers who want quick, precise results without needing to know advanced search techniques. So to use natural language search, you need to manually turn it on. It's not on by default. So if you want to turn on natural language search, there are two ways to turn it on. So first, from the basic search. So if you want to enable natural language search from the basic search, just toggle this button to on. So that will enable natural language search. Now, if you're landing on the basic search, or if you're using the advanced search rather, you can go to your search options and then go to search modes and select natural language search. And then we can enter our question in the search bar. So my question is, does artificial intelligence encourage cheating in education? Now, earlier, if you can remember, what we did was I've extracted the keywords from the question and then combined them using the Boolean operator. So with natural language search, you don't have to do that. You just have to enter the question and make sure that you have enabled natural language search and click on search. And it's going to take us to the search results. And you have here your suggested questions as well. So we've got 9,514 results. So try to turn off natural language search just to show you the difference. So if you're going to disable it, you won't have results. So the reason is the system doesn't understand this as a question. So it's treating your question as keywords. So if I enable natural language search, here are the results. So when using natural language search, there is an option to click on show refined query. And this will just display a Boolean version of your natural language query. So this is actually a transparency tool that allows you to review whether our system interpreted your question correctly. All right, so that's your natural language search. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is linked data. So we're using EBSCO Scholarly Graph, or also referred to as ESG, and is a type of knowledge graph that is a network of interlinked descriptions and entities that is focused on scholarly content. And it's used to describe things like people, publications, institutions, and topics. So ESG has four components, and I have already covered the cited by feature. So first, we have so we're going to skip the cited by. As mentioned earlier, you can just click on the cited by button and it will generate a list of citations. Next, we have the references feature. So this feature will help you discover connections to a piece of research, and it will also help you easily locate records. So you can access references from the detailed record. So just click on the title and you've got the references. So these are the references used by the authors of this article. So again, that's your references. Next, we've got retractions. So the next feature is called retractions. So retractions are articles or papers that have been officially withdrawn by the journal or publisher. And this usually happens because of errors, ethical issues, or misconduct in the research. So retractions are important because they help maintain the accuracy and integrity of the scientific record. Now, if you come across a retracted article, it means that its findings should not be relied upon for research or citation. So EBSCO has recently added retraction indicator, as shown on your screen, as visual markers that highlight whether an article has been retracted. So what you're going to see here is you've got your title and you've got a little flag here saying that this resource is retracted. Now, to access retracted articles, we can do a title search. So we're going to click on advanced search and we're going to use a field code. So I've selected title and I'm going to search for retracted. Then I'm going to search for the results. So here are the results. And here is one of the retracted articles. So when we click on this, so you have here the flag that says that this is a retracted article. So again, that's your retractions. And finally, we've got people pages. So people pages are new pages available to EBSCO host and EBSCO Discovery user experience. So these pages contain information sourced from EBSCO's scholarly graph about authors and contributors such as the past topical areas and disciplines that have worked within or links to other open Alex profiles and metrics like total works, cited by count, and co-authors. So let's have a look at how we can access this feature. So from the search results, so as you can see, we've got the bibliographic information. So when people pages are enabled, we use a works DOI or digital object identifier to search against the EBSCO scholarly graph for author and citation connection and matches. So when we find an author or contributor that has connections in the scholarly graph, we reveal a green link with a small pen icon on the result list card and detail record. So once clicked, it will take us to the corresponding person's page. Now, this page will show us information about the author or contributor. So this page also provides links to other people pages under the top co-authors. So where the overlapping counts by work or publications are provided. Now, the last section of the page contains works that are linked to the person in the scholarly or EBSCO scholarly graph. So the works include all works returned from the scholarly graph, including those that are not available via a current EBSCO subscription for the corresponding profile. So that is people pages. Now, before we wrap up, I also wanted to mention that you've got supplemental sources. So any sources perhaps that can be indexed on EBSCO Discovery Service, or if you simply want to take your users to external links, you can utilize the supplemental sources. So you can find your supplemental sources under the research tools located beneath your concept map or publication finder if you didn't enable your concept map. So these are the external links. When clicked, it's going to take users to the dedicated link. So there you go. So that is your supplemental sources. Before we wrap up, I just want to quickly show you our help website. It's called EBSCO Connect. And as shown earlier, you can go to this page to learn more about the things I discussed today. So if you want to learn more about people pages, just enter your keywords in the search bar and run your search. So these are the results, and you've got an article here about people pages. Here you go. So you've got information here about people pages. And that also takes me to the end of my presentation. So I'm going to pause for a while to check if there's any questions or if there's anything that you'd like to know that I haven't covered yet. So if you have questions, please feel free to use the chat box or the Q&A feature, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay, so I think no questions so far. So if you've got any questions in the future, please feel free to contact me at ryansalas@ebsco.com. You can also contact me via Viber or WhatsApp. So again, thank you everyone for taking the time to join me, and please be on standby for the recording and the slide deck. And thank you everyone, and have a great day. Bye for now.